Okay, a training program is either physical or mental conditioning to increase a particular target area of the sport you're training for or whatever you're training for. Um, Generally, you'll find that they're used all around the world to great success. What you got to keep in mind is the fact that once you start one, you have to complete it and you have to follow it through in order for it to be successful. In drumming, you'll find that a training program is used to either increase your speed, your how good you are at performing live, your dynamics, or generally just how long your endurance levels are. Generally, you find that, as I said, athletes have similar levels, endurance levels to athletes. So, what you got to find is once you start a drumming program for training, you've got to follow it right through to the end in order for it to be successful. You'll notice a lot of drum programs at the moment designed entirely around the kit itself, so the drummer kind of sits down, gets his own thing going, and does that for quite some time, and in that way he designs his own training program revolved around the kit. But what people need to realise is the fact that you can be restricted to a drum kit, but there's also a lot of other physical fitness involved in drumming. You can get out and run, you can get out and do some push-ups, ankle weights, wrist weights, anything like that is all going to add up to how well you play drums. It's all about your physical fitness. Some of you may know that drummers have similar endurance levels to professional athletes, so it's a very physical thing, and you've got to be physically fit to be able to perform drums at a maximum capability. Current programs involved in increasing your speed and increasing other things related to drums involve one where you sit down and you play at a maximum speed that you're capable of playing at for a short period of time, and keep playing that as quick as you can, over a short period of time. And basically, if you keep doing that, you'll eventually kind of get used to that speed, and then you can up that speed to the next level. Other systems involve you playing at a level close to your maximum for the longest period of time you can, possibly about 10 minutes, and that way if you endure at that speed, you'll be able to endure at a heavier speed for a long period of time. To work on dynamics and things like that, drummers generally sit down and kind of rotate between playing loud and soft in a bar, and rotate between 4 bars or something like that, and then do that for a period of time, and they'll get better slowly at doing that, which is another way to build up dynamics. But yeah, as I said before, a lot of programs that exist about drumming particularly involve just setting the drum kit, but yeah, drumming itself isn't going to work all your muscles and all your body, so you kind of want to get out there, maybe go to the gym, maybe see what you've got at home and experiment a little bit, build up all your muscle groups, and just be physically fit for being able to sit down and play the drums. Okay, jazz drumming is situated mostly on the right part of your kit, involving a ride cymbal, a snare cymbal and a bit of bass. It's predominantly stuck to the right side of the kit because you find that in a lot of cases there's a lot more dim sounding ride cymbals, crash cymbals, possibly a secondary hi-hat, all available for you to mess around with and have a good time, or produce a kind of more cymbally kind of noise coming out. This is generally how jazz drummers play their jazz. But you use a bit of toms every now and then to get a bit of a feel coming in, but it's very, very high-pitched orientated, so you generally stick to the cymbals with a bit of snare, and that's the dynamics of jazz drumming. With my rock drumming here, you'll see me sticking to the left part of the kit, particularly involving the hi-hat that's open and the snare drum and a lot of bass. Basically, rock's all about slamming the kit around, having a good time, smashing everything about, trying to produce quite a loud noise but at the same time, and that suits a lot of rock guitarists and anyone else that's available for playing rock with you. It's a much louder sort of music than jazz, so you'll find that sticking to the left side of the kit is where everything's at, apart from the bass drum down there, which you slam about every now and then just to produce those loud noises. Okay, you'll see me here in metal drumming involving a lot of double bass work. Can't really show at the moment, but down on the bottom of the bass drum you'll see me have 2 pedals which I can rotate, one on time, one on offbeat, just to get a quicker bass drum feel going. This kind of adds a heavier dynamics to it. Metal's all about being really loud and full of bass generally, so you'll find that you need a lot of bass drum. You'll find me a bit all over the kit, predominantly on the crash ride over there, because the crash ride has got the loudest sort of dynamics as a cymbal, and just echoes like crazy and gives you that loud sort of noise that you want when playing metal. Due to the absence of drum-related injuries, I suggested this program is run for 6 days of the week with one resting day. You might get sick-tired of banging around so much in the kit, you might get a bit bored. Due to the nature of training on drums, I've suggested that there is a warm-up routine off the kit where a significant amount of training occurs for about an hour and a half prior to any drum playing, followed by a warm-up routine on the actual kit, followed by playing on the actual kit with a metronome to get some practice in. This would roughly take 3 to 4.5 hours depending on the player and the intensity of the program. Outside of this, I've suggested a 30-minute run every day to keep the physical fitness up. Okay, so what you find here is that the bicep is predominantly being used to lift the arm up and down to strike the surface of the drum pad. This is about a 95.4 degree angle. What you'll find over here is that the elbow is the fulcrum point on the arm. Most of the injury occurs down in the bicep area, but it's very small and doesn't really occur often. This often occurs in the bicep, seeing as it's the muscle that's taking all the load, as it is a third-class lever. This is generally the stroke that's used the most while drumming because it's loud and it's quite effective when playing and doesn't use. Okay, here what we have is the second most used motion while drumming. It involves the wrist lifting up and down to an angle of about 97.6 degrees before it comes back down and strikes the surface of the drum. This is again a third-class lever with the back of the wrist acting as a fulcrum point, should I say. Injury does mostly occur at the back of the wrist and the wrist flexors, because this is where most of the strain is occurring when you're lifting the wrist up and down. But as I said, injury doesn't really occur much in this particular area, and this is one of my favourite. Okay, what we have here is drumming of the feet, where the load is after the effort and again after the fulcrum. Injury here usually occurs around the ankle because that's where you're lifting your foot up from. This is where injury most likely occurs on the ankles. That's where you hear drummers usually bailing out of drumming because it does hurt them quite a bit. I love using the feet, love using the double feet when playing, so it's good fun. And yeah, you lift your foot up to about, 90 degrees before.